had a song on Bandcamp that we released in October 2013.
Actually, to pronounce the band's name at this time, you have to ask the Mexican.
I'm not from Mexico. Fuck you.
The thing is, we brainstorm names
It was a
and
very long process.
it's always a very long process. Even for when we were called T19 Red, it was pretty much like we brainstorm names, words that we like, and when we find something that no one dislikes, just okay, everyone is good with that one. And so yeah, there was honestly no real meaning behind the name. So yeah, there you go. So we just
no real meaning, but actually it fits the genre. Yeah, let's go.
I don't know, it's a pretty cool place. I mean, we weren't expecting that. I mean, we knew it was going to be an alternative place, like, but we weren't expecting this. So
no. Actually, it's fairly small, but the energy is nice. For a lot of gigs we made, people are nice.
And it looks like the crowd is used to coming here.
Yeah. They never leave, really.
So yeah, it looks like a faithful crowd that keeps coming back and, you know, enjoys the shows here. So it made us feel welcome, which was nice, obviously. Well, I guess we all listened to those bands, and then, well, it was the common denominator between us. And then the first EP was mostly written by Val, and so we mostly gathered around what he was suggesting, and yeah, we made it work, and everyone brought their own thing in the mix. And
so yeah, and I think it helps a lot for the next steps, because the new album is going to be more of a team effort than before. Before it was also a team effort, but I would say the impulse was mainly from my musical tastes or stuff like that. And now, for example, Myra, which is the last song we played, actually is more, yeah, I would say it's different from what we did before. And yes, and actually it was Oscar who wrote this one. So actually the way of working it's different. And also now we have Alexis, so we have vocals, so it adds a lot, especially live. We were playing something more deathcore-ish before, and way easier to play live, so funnier, I would say. And Alexis was there because at this time his technique was mainly focused around that. And then I pushed other ideas, and we felt it was better to go without vocals at first. So we fired him, I would say. No, we didn't really fire him, but
let's also say he had a lot going on in his life.
Yeah, sure. And then I think 1.5 years passed, we had the record out, and then he came back like, hey guys, I improved. We were like, yeah, sure, come. And now he's there, and we're super happy to have him. Sorry for firing him. The idea was to really have one big song for the whole EP. And then of course Oscar brought the idea of, okay, we want to speak about nature, stars or whatever. Okay, hey, the sun is a star, so what about the course of the sun over day? And then we named the songs with a moment in the day, so actually it goes from dawn to dusk. And yeah, it was pretty easy, and then we found the name, and then it was like, okay, it fits well together, so we stick with that.
The first EP, when it was written, the songs were not made to include vocals. I mean, he's badass enough that he can lay vocals on all these songs, but they were really not written for that. So well, he did a pretty good job with that. So yeah, now we want to focus on writing new music. We have shot a music video that's going to come out at some point, and yeah, so yeah, now our main focus is like the second EP, which we want to have for next year. So yeah, and when we're done with that, we might rework the first EP and maybe re-record it, but like re-record everything and include vocals, maybe rearrange the songs to give more space.
And add bonus tracks, right?
And bonus tracks with old songs we've been reworking, and But yeah,
somewhere funny.
but that's for like
Yeah.
in a year after we're done with the second EP.
Yeah.
Flemish people, but
That was a joke,
Yeah.
but it's pretty hard to play in Flanders if you don't know the people personally. And the problem is we come from Brussels, or it's a very small music ecosystem, especially in metal and hardcore. So it's pretty hard to, play out of Brussels, especially in Flanders. If you don't know the people, especially with the language barrier, even if everyone speaks English, it's still like a different almost culture. So.
But maybe we were a bit shy because for my first contact with one of the Flemish organization, I would say, was like pretty chill. Like I was expecting a bit of a barrier or something cooler. Like
No,
in the bad way.
they're warm. They're pretty nice, but you have to go out there to the shows. You have to meet them, and when you're like an hour away, it's sometimes a bit harder to get it done. But
I
there's
would
like
say, people think they're more than they actually are.
well, there's like 2 venues maybe, and 1 organization. And it's always the same bands playing at the same shows with the same organizers.
And we know because we did that. We play like
Every
every year,
Yeah, and so it's pretty hard to get in if you don't know them. I mean, we do know them, so we do alright, but it's pretty hard to get shows in Brussels because there are not enough venues, and when you get to a venue, they're like, hey, but concerts here are organized by that organization, so get in touch with them. Yeah, and people don't go out as much. I mean, there are some organizers from Brussels who actually, guy we know who started organizing all his shows in Flanders, and it works like a lot better because people actually, get their ass to the show, which they don't in Brussels. It's very hard to get people to, here nobody knew us, like they had never heard of us, but there was a crowd that stayed pretty late to see a band they'd never heard of before, and looks like they enjoyed the show and everything, and they were open-minded about it, which is not always the case, it's further south.
We have one more song for you guys. The next one is a brand new song. It's called Myra. Let's see what you got! Thank